Welcome, 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 welcome. As you can see, I am in the middle of cooking a little lunch. I'm having some kale, some field peas with greens, and I'm going to air fry some chicken. So I figured while I was doing that, we can chit chat it up, and I can tell you again just kind of how it's a wonderful Wednesday and the little things that we take for granted. If we take the time to just be appreciative, then we will see that there are so many blessings that we just literally take for granted. And I did want to give kind of a update on the trying Tuesday that turned out uh, with just positive energy from I know you all, and what I usually do for myself anyway. It was nice because I felt you. I felt you sending me out great energy that my day was no longer trying, that it was in fact triumphant. I think someone had mentioned. Hold on, put that down for just a second. I'm still here though. And I felt it and I thank y'all. Right. Yesterday uh, was fantastic. Usually, when I give of myself and I'm grateful and I'm helping others, again, it just makes my day. It gives me a sense of what's the word? It gives me a sense of hold on, y'all, while I season my chicken. It gives me a sense of gratefulness. It gives me a sense of servitude. Um, it literally elevates my vibration. It just elevates my vibration to a beautiful space, and that's usually where my vibrations are anyway. But sometimes I have a little challenge. I have some challenges during this time because of my health, and I'll tell y'all about that as well. But I just wanted to come on here and thank y'all because I felt all that positive energy that you all were sending me. This is I'm just telling y'all some of the seasonings that I use on my when I cook because it's good for anti-inflammatory and all that good stuff. This is hold on, there you go. This is turmeric with black pepper because I found out that both of those together is supposed to what do you call it? Um, Ignite the good stuff about it. And of course, you can't go wrong with the chili pepper because I like a little spice on mine. I kind of put that all on there. And then we do a little cayenne pepper. I'm just saying because I like spices. So we're going to put a little spray on that here. Let's see here. But while I'm doing seasoning up my chicken for the air fryer, I just kind of want to give y'all a update on yesterday and how y'all's positive. There's some cumin. You can never go wrong with cumin because same thing. It helps with our anti-inflammatory something, 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 and a lot of different things. Just Google it. But I know that cumin is good for us. Turmeric is good for us. Black pepper is good for us. Cayenne pepper is good for us. And actually, I got some sage as a gift. Oh, here's some paprika. Listen, I found out about the paprika. I want to get some smoked paprika because it does something good to the flavors, y'all. It really, really does. Got that. And let's see here. What else? Some curry powder. Again, I can't help it. I like the spices. Got to put some. Oh, I didn't show you, my bad. The curry powder. So listen, I'm thankful to have this kind of the spices, and let me tell you how I got these because of my health situation, and I couldn't really move around and stuff. I was connected where I live to this community resource called Food Link, and what Food Link. Oh, my bad, y'all. Here's some onion pepper, and what Food Link. They basically the whole premise is they don't want anybody to go hungry, and when I mean the community. And because I was linked up to them because of the rehab that I was doing from my surgery, they deliver the food, different packages. They come in, oh, my bad, y'all. Found some sage. And sage just, it's good for us too. I'm trying to just do stuff, eat, use stuff that's good for us and good to our body. And just a little something of salt. I don't really do too much salt, but a little kosher salt don't hurt nobody. So I'm going to scoop a little bit up there and just a little extra right here, right here, right here. And as y'all can see, I literally take my time and sprinkle with just a little bit up here like this right here. But anyway, going back to Food Link, they literally will bring a package every week with canned goods, spices, almond milk, um, just different packages, and I was so grateful for that. So I was able to save some of it, or use it when I, of course, but still have enough that even though my service is no longer, it's going to tide me over for a minute. I got to get some more garlic powder, but I have actual garlic, so I minced that into like my kale. That's my kale. I just put the same spices that I was telling y'all about earlier in my kale and also in my field peas, right? Excuse my, my kitchen, my stove is a little crazy right now, but I'm cooking. And it's not going to be like that. I'll show you. It's not going to be like that when we finish. But going back to the curbside, I'm very thankful that that was offered to me, that with everything that's going on, I don't have to worry about eating, right? And they also provide like pancake mix and all kinds of stuff. I'm not gonna lie. As a matter of fact, let me show you some of from my cabinet. Again, excuse my mess, but I'm cooking. See this? Well, I got the clam juice from on my food stamps with Amazon, but all of that, and this is actually I have to go back underneath in my cabinet in my little packages and restock. But these are the things that we now forget about this one because I got that one from the Jamaican restaurant. And my gosh, y'all, if y'all have ever had this or have not, try it. It is something good. It is something fierce. But they allow the canned goods and things of that nature. So that we can have, again, something to eat that's healthy, that's nutritious. But with that being said, I'm thankful for that, right? I'm very thankful for that. But want to kind of give you an update on yesterday. Again, I really felt that you all were giving me positive energy, and I so appreciate it. And when I was able to help others to, even get a pair of clean clothes, uh, you know, even socks or underwear, things that we take for granted, I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel so happy. It made me extremely happy. Hey, is that Srihari 2545? And I wonder if Anaya, if you, because you were young, and I still don't understand how you got onto my live, but I did send you energy on your first day of school, and I hope that went well for you. But y'all, I was just so grateful to be in a position where I can help others. I'm trying to make me some coffee. Don't laugh. Now, hold on for a second, y'all. Let me go get some more water from the from the from my refrigerator. Hold on. Yes, I use, what is this? Spring water? Yeah, I use spring water and distilled water, things of that nature, because this tap water up here in the north, I ain't too sure about it. So until I find out about it, you know what I'm saying? Like there's an actual decent place for it. We're gonna stick with the filter. I mean the gallon water, the pitcher water. So again, just to update that I felt you guys. I appreciated the love, and it truly was no longer a trying Tuesday. It was, I think someone mentioned, a triumphant Tuesday. Now, I'm not going to lie, when I got back to the crib, I crashed because the way that my health is, I can only do so much. So I have to learn to kind of listen to my body. And when my body says, slow down, go take a nap, I have to do that. And that's new for me because I'm used to kind of going uh, just kind of on the move, if you will. So hold on for one sec. I'm still here, y'all. Hold on, put you right. Hold on, I'm trying to find something as a background. No, it's not happening. But let me put this chicken in here. I'm gonna open it back up. But I found that the little things for me matter so much. Being a blessing is so, it's amazing. It just, it tickles me. You know, I'm not going to even lie, it tickles me because that's what I do. But I also want to kind of update some of you all from Monday. I think y'all knew that I had a meeting with DHS regarding my uh, verification because I'm still experiencing health issues, and right now it's not conducive for me to work full time. But what I have to maintain is going to my, doctor's appointments and things of that nature. So I couldn't, oh, excuse me, I couldn't have asked for anything better than that. They saw with my medical stuff that, yeah, I couldn't really work yet. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure how financially I'm going to make it, but I know I've already made it because there's a God in me. There's a energy in me that I am prosperous no matter where I am, what I'm doing, and what my bank account says. I have been exempted for I think the next 6 months or so for working because they're trying to figure out where this health thing is coming from, what's going on with it, and give me a treatment. As you can hear, uh, I'm not saddened, even though sometimes it kind of weighs on me. I know that I'm more than my circumstances. I know that I am basically the head and not the tail. I know that I'm a gazillionaire, and I'm manifesting it out. I believe that this is the opportunity that the universe has blessed me with, that I will be able to really pour into me. And some of you are aware that I am an online coach, spiritual life coach at that. And some of you are aware that I also am seeing myself a mental health counselor, and I don't have a problem with saying that she is literally a blessing for me because I've never been in a situation where, for the most part, I had that for myself. So it feels great to be able to replenish myself with someone who I can trust. So y'all laugh when I would say, that therapy is good. I wasn't just making that up. I'm using it, right? So how can I be a blessing to others and be objective with my participants, not clients, because they participate in our sessions, if I myself uh, don't utilize the mental health counselor that the universe has blessed me with? Because truthfully, being in the skin that I'm in, especially in this tale of two countries, the racial trauma can really weigh on anyone's spirit, let alone their physicality. And I know that that's the main factor as to why my health kind of caught up with me, if you will. Because y'all, within a year, I want to say, I've had an accident. I've had been homeless. I've had major, a major emergency surgery that I never even had surgery before, and I had to recover from that surgery in a homeless shelter. Let alone that whole no contact thing with the whole family members and stuff. Y'all, I was doing that. A lot of us was doing that before it was a thing, before there was a term for it. So basically navigating in a new city and not being 100% health wise, it has taken a toll. It was taking a toll on me holistically. Thank the universe and me being positive and staying in servitude and gratitude and being the best I can for not just myself but for others. The universe answered me and connected me with an awesome social. She is a mental health professional, and we are unpacking some things that honestly I thought that I had already unpacked, to be quite candid with you. But as it turned out, there's still some things from my past, from my childhood, that I didn't really delve into. It was enough for me uh, to be able to not just function, but to thrive, and to not be a victim, to not believe that anything that was my fault and what have you. But there's more to that, right? There's more to uh, my challenges growing up. I can say that if I had not had the experiences that I had, I would not have been as effective as an in home therapist, where I was able to relate to the broken child, the abused child. And I was also able to relate to the parents who were actually inflicting trauma, to explain to them and to share with them how to better communicate with their children, how to, in a sense, by doing that, reduce the household stressors that would cause that lack of communication. Um, and able to say, hey, to the parents, mothers in particular, listen, there's a lot going on. You're doing well with all the different barriers that you are dealing with. Let's see if we can use these strengths to fine tune what you're already doing right. And I'm again, if it had not been for the way my childhood was, and they still deny it, but whatever. If it had not been for the childhood that I had, I would not have been as effective as I was and that I am. So again, I'm grateful. That's kind of what this whole wonderful Wednesday is about. What you all sent out, I felt. And not only that, because the energy was on one accord, the universe answered. Had a wonderful assessment person from DHS. She just wasn't um, a name. She wasn't pessimistic. She hadn't burnt out. That the universe and my creator and my ancestors sent me someone who actually heard me. And active listening is so important, and we don't do a lot of it. And for me, when I come across it, I am so grateful. I am so like, wow, universe. That's like God's winks to me, right? That's why I put it also in my description, that there are so many different winks that the universe gives us, but we're so caught up in the hustle and bustle of just surviving that we don't recognize it. We don't even notice it. Now, for me, that's all I do. It keeps me in check, right? That whole keep me from evil. And look, enlarge my territory, keep me from evil, that I don't cause pain. Yes, when I send that out, the universe blesses me indeed and gives me my request. And they put people in my place that understand their role in my life. And so that's just an awesome experience. But I wanted to come in, not too long, wanted to come in and share with you all an update on that uh, on that meeting that I had. Thank you all for your positive well wishes. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Continue to send out in the universe uh, that the universe keeps answering. You know what I mean? And that I can come back and report to you some of the positive outcomes and results. That if we're all like minded and we have that same energy, then good things and God things will continue to follow. So again, check me out. I think I'm going over to my other page. I'm not really sure on the tick to the talk, but more than likely, more than likely, they will monitor what I say over there. And that's why I'm realizing that for me, I need to increase my YouTube engagement. And I'm thankful for, those oligarchs over there like a Larry Ellison and all of them doing what they're doing and monitoring people of color and their content. Let me give you an example. They banned one of my, three of my last five posts because it was relating to people of color being strange fruited. I think, is it hanging fruit or strange fruit? I think it's strange fruited, unalived because they're unalived due to a tree and a rope. And when I saw this white content creator, older white lady, that was talking about the same thing, and she got over 2,000 views within the day or something like that. I'm like, oh heck no, this is some crazy foolery right now. She was saying the same things that I was saying about the fact that this is an epidemic, and the FBI and the CIA, all them people ain't paying attention because they're black and brown people. And even she acknowledged that we don't do black people. Black people don't do that, not just because there's uh, a historical background behind that, but we just don't do that. I was happy to see that, right? Because I'm first of all, I know I ain't cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I know the monitoring is real. But listen to me, y'all. It didn't distract me. It didn't. It frustrated me for that little bit. But that day, I want to say I went back on to the other social media platform, and I was talking about Frumpleton. And y'all, when I tell you some beautiful building took place between participants that came over, I want to say I averaged like, I don't know how many thousand views doing that live, um, acquired a few followers, and gifted some things that I didn't even know what they were. I need to go, when I go over there, I need to get with a few of my moderators so they can explain this whole gift thing to me, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm missing some money, but I don't know how to to uh, to connect with it. And it seems also like when I got over my 1,000 followers that I could do content, create content and things like that, or courses. That's when they begin to really monitor me, and that's a signal. That's a sign that I know I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to do. So, with that being said, that too was a blessing. And let me just say, y'all, there were some Caucasian women that came on to my live. And when I tell you they got knowledge as to why they were aversive racists, they didn't understand what that word, what that was, and I broke it down to them. And they not only they learned, they modified the behavior. They came to my channel with a receptive learning spirit. And that's what Ones Fear Us, They Fear One Us is about. They were all white women, right? Which is pivotal with the modification of the United States culture, the system, the government. Because like I said years ago, check out my content. White women are the X factor. They're going to have to decide who or what they will follow. And with that being said, because of the Renee Good thing and the Alex Peretti thing, travesties, some of them realized that they were no longer protected under their whiteness. And these women really came to the channel, and they were upset about, the Nolan Wells, and even one of them spoke on Carmelo Anthony, which I was shocked that they were paying attention. But it was one that, why can't we why can't we get along? And they were okay with me saying it's not a we, it's a y'all, because black people don't control this political system. Black people don't control any type of system in America. So you're asking us to re reconstruct what white people have done. And we don't have that power to do that. And I broke that down to them as well. I basically, who was in the Articles of Confederation? Were there black people? No. Who was a part of the Constitution? Were there black people? No. Even in the Constitution, a, a pedophile, a rapist in Thomas Jefferson, with his sick deviance, who was raping a 14-year-old child, was responsible for part of responsibility for writing the Constitution. So I broke it down the white way to them, and it was like, and they all were like, I never really looked at it like that. And I broke it down to them as why they didn't look at it like that, because of the way society is formed and created and maintained. White people, especially white women, aren't supposed to know why they put black people and brown people in the same category when they say we should do better. And by the end of this live, I kid you not, they were able to share their responsibility, not only because of it. A couple of them even said, I'm sorry for how my people have treated you. I was like, what? I mean, not to myself, I was like that, because with them, I was like that. I appreciate you saying that, and that means a lot. That means that there's some acknowledgement that comes with that. So with that, um, we turned, again, what should have been painful into purpose. And that's what Ones Fear Us, They Fear One Us is about. Re-education of the miseducation that both sides have received. And I also gave them a couple of people to go look for, because they look like them. Tim Wise, Jane Elliott, um, Renee D'Angelo with White Fragility. One woman even shared that she was actually going to a counselor or a therapist to unpack her white privilege. I was like, excuse me? Yes, she is going to a therapist to unpack her white privilege. She's coming from, her background is growing up as a white evangelical um, child, and understand, and she was trained to just be a good wife for a preacher, white evangelical. And I broke that down to her too. And I asked her to go and research what the rapture was really about and when it actually took place. Listen, when I broke that down to her, I was like, look, I'm not trying to freak you out too bad. She was like, no, I want to learn. I'm like, okay. So I gave her a few things to kind of go and follow up with herself on her own. And listen, y'all, the woman did it, right? And it may not sound like a lot to a lot of people. It may sound like, Keyshawn, you're a once for us, you being a pacifist, Keyshawn, you being too nice, Keyshawn, da 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 da. But I will say to you, you don't know which white person can become an anti-racist ally by what you pour into them. And that's part of my purpose driven life. That is why I went back to school, or school found me, that I have a master's of IO psychology, to where my concentration was modern forms of discrimination, to really break down why you people feel the way you do, and how it's based on a false narrative that is a pathology, a mental illness. Anybody that thinks they're better than somebody else because they have less melanin, y'all, that's a sickness there. And when I broke that down to them, they were like, oh wow, I never looked at it like that again. You wouldn't, because you're of the Caucasian persuasion. So it was a wonderful breakthrough. It reminds me that it's not going to happen all the time, but when it does, go ahead on and give them credit, or give yourself credit for the patience uh, that you're able to reflect. Because truthfully, and I told them that, based on how y'all look, I should HATE all of you, because before I opened my mouth, I was already persecuted as the angry black woman because I have melanin. And many white people have done me wrong systemically because they can. And I gave them examples. They was like, oh my gosh, that happened to you? You need to write a book. And I said, yes, I am. I'm in the process of writing a book, memoirs, as a matter of fact. And it's something like Tales of Two Countries with 3 Ks, because y'all have y'all's lived experience, and we have our own lived experience. And I think I mentioned to them the book Black Like Me. And I kind of broke that down. And if anybody's ever watched that, let me know down in the comments, or excuse me, read that book. It is very insightful. In a nutshell, I'll give you the synopsis. A white man, I think his name is Harold Griffin, something like that. A white man who, he basically has a social experiment, right? He goes that he uses, I think it's 7 days. He goes to the same path, the same pattern, if you will, day to day, walking through the same places and whatnot, as a white man. And then he sees how he's being treated because of his white privilege. So he decides to take some melanated pills that turns his skin a little darker. And he goes through the same routine, and he gets beat down, cussed out, spit at, all the whole thing that a black person actually experiences. And it humbled him because he didn't know that that was our lived experience. And he came back and reflected the differences that was shown to him towards from black people along with white people, right? And I shared that with them and said, this is the kind of lived experience that if more white people experience that, then they would be more of an advocate for true equality, authentic reconciliation. But without truth, we can have no reconciliation. And I also shared with them, that's why I believe that where we are now, separation is the best key. It's the best move for our safety's sake, for our children's safety. We can no longer tell our children that white kids are safe because we see every time we look around that our children being trusting don't come back, right? And so again, they took it all in stride. It wasn't that, they were defensive or anything of that nature. And that let me know some of them really want to learn. They really want to grow. Not all of them. Don't get that twisted. I ain't say that. I'm gonna say instead of 1 out of 10, maybe 2 out of 10, okay, want to actually do better, and they know that there is a challenge here, underlining issue, the underlining issues that need to be addressed in order for us to collectively have a determined, in order for us to have a equal and fair, all-inclusive society. They also understood why I said to them, and I still stand firm on this, give us 30, maybe 25 to 30 years on our own so that we can heal from our own racial trauma that you all inflicted. We can begin to love each other and learn how to collaborate because this is who we are. And we can build our own municipalities. And when and if we decide that we want to engage with you all from an economic system or economic level, we will come in equal. Therefore, we don't have to rely on y'all's dollars. If anything, y'all will see how much y'all really needed us. And I also said, and I still believe this, that because of the history of our people, the grace and mercy that was shown towards the slave owners, I couldn't have. They did. And God knew, the universe knew which era to put me in, because I would have been like Harriet Tubman. I would be talking to you right now. I'm just saying, I would have been on the other side of Nat Turner. Okay, just keeping it real. But where I am in this lifetime, and I'm thankful for that, I'm able to not allow that anger to determine how I treat people. If anything, that anger truly has turned into a passion and a purpose for my people, for us, by us. It's not a slight to anybody else. It's just time for us to focus on us. And again, once we do that 20, 25, 30 years or so, we can come back to the table as equals. We can barter with you. And now I don't necessarily agree with that, but I can see we as a people, after we've healed, being able to do something like that because, again, we're on an even playing field. So that's kind of a synopsis of kind of where what we talked about on the other live. And I'm going back over there in a little bit to kind of give them an update as to kind of how, like I shared with you all, how the DHS thing happened. And even though the financially, I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. I'm not, I'm not concerned, to be honest with you, because just as God and my Creator, they are. It's a she is a God of vision. She is also a God of provision, right? So because I was granted this purpose during this lifetime, I know that all I have to do is manifest that, and it's going to work in my favor. And I'm going to take the opportunity to complete this book along with some other projects, creative wise, that I've wanted to do, but just never really had the time because literally I was navigating my spiritual nomadic journey where I really didn't have time for myself. It was always around other energies that would kind of take me away from myself. now the way the universe works, even though I have these health issues, I'm looking at, again, the lemonade that's, excuse me, the lemons that's turning into lemonade, where I can take this opportunity and focus on what my divine purpose is. I know what it is, but implementing it, right? So again, stay with me, y'all. The whole Spherian movement is really working in our favor, and I believe in a few months I'll be able to do our think tank, our Afro think tank that we need to have. So again, though that along with my journal of gratitude that I'm working on, along with it's kind of like a novelette that kind of is based on the mafia government that we have now and how they are inflicting their havoc on not just Americans, but the world. And and when we look at it, the United States and the government have been basically the mafia for everyone else in the world. And chickens are coming back to the chickens are coming home to roost, and why they're coming home to roost. So I'm kind of breaking it down that even the dumbest MAGA moron and MAGA minion can understand why they're stupid. And I know that sounds like I'm being, rude, but I'm not. They're just stupid and they're ignorant and they're made to be that way. So kind of breaking it down, not just for them, but for us. Some of them, because they think that because I look the way I do, I'm gonna come with some craziness. No, I'm gonna use this white literature, right? Use these white terms and break it down to them so that again, even they can understand it, why they are dumb, why they actually have contributed to where we are now. It wasn't just the rich white men, right? It was these poor white people also that didn't like the fact that Obama won the most important position in the world, and they're still resentful of that. So they picked this dumbass. And look what happened. And some of you who looked at listened to the video about the Australian citizen, man, listen, she broke that thing down so well that I couldn't have asked for a better reference. These are things that I've said over the years, but to have this one person break it down like that, man, that was some beautiful stuff. But let me get on off of here. I thank you all. ABT, I see you. I just saw you. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate it. I'm going live a little bit later. And I don't know if you're on my TikTok, but go on if you haven't, or if you're on TikTok, subscribe to me, follow me so that you can also be notified when I go live. But again, I appreciate you because I know you're busy with everything under the sun. I appreciate you coming over and lending me your ear. And listen, I appreciate what you sent me today about with Gil Duran. The things that he was saying, I had been speaking on that on and off for years. So to have that reference, I'm going to literally clip that up. I'm going to like not butcher it, but I'm going to use pretty much most of that and break it down as to how that affects and effects people of color, not just white people. Because listen, I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm not too concerned with white people. I'm more concerned about my people. If white people get it, great. But I'm more concerned about saving us, right? And education and knowledge is power. It will save us from ourselves. Meaning, instead of us competing against each other, especially right now, the way these references that I'm creating are coming out, it's really to show black people, look, while they're getting distracted by all this other stuff, we can be regalvanizing and restructuring the way that we would want our world to be. Now, I'm going to leave you by dropping this on you. Not only is my research showing me that Yahshua was in fact a black woman under the name of Isis, and when you take the word JESUS, because there were no J's back then, and replace it with IESUS, that is ISIS. And that would make sense for me personally, that when I heard that word ISIS, I felt some kind of something in my spirit resonate. That explains why. And it also explains why when, even in Russia, I think it is, they have Mary depicted as a black woman carrying a black child. I'm just saying, I'm learning this thing, I'm unpacking these things, and I'm going to share it with y'all in my book. Y'all going to be like, what the hell? Yes, black women, that's why we are the goddesses. I always said that. I wasn't just making it up. I know I wasn't, because the way the evidence is being shown, that's who we are. And we need to step into our queendom collectively. And that takes collaboration, not competition. That's what paleface do. That's what they do, because they don't know any better. And by default, they pass that craziness down to black men because, excuse me, black men children, because they didn't step into their royalty, so they themselves were susceptible to that nonsense. So that's something that I found out, and I'm gonna, give y'all the resource, the evidence, so that y'all can look it up for yourself. And there was one more thing. Hold on. It was the black woman being God. And there was one more. Hold on, y'all, before I let you go. Oh, the fact that America, this America here, is actually Africa. Now, hear what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, it makes sense. But why would we have Memphis or Philadelphia or Delphi and other names like that over here? Why is it that there are places that, rumor has it, that there are pyramids over here? If we weren't regal over here to begin with, why would the bigger figures like what they call Sasquatch or Bigfoot not really bother us, but bother the paleface? Y'all, it's some serious. I'm learning, and I'm gonna pass it along to y'all. But again, don't want to keep you too much longer. I want to thank you again for your support, for your words of encouragement, for your positive energy, because I'm gonna need y'all, man, because we still don't know what's going on with my health. I got another test set up September 1st. But in the meantime, between time, as you can see, I'm trying to get my eat on healthier, because I was doing that anyway. I'm just going to keep on doing what I was doing with that. For you all who's contributed financially, listen, especially right now, I am really looking at, I thank y'all. $5 here, $10 there. Listen, it has added up, and I appreciate you all, because you didn't have to. You could buy you a Starbucks coffee, and you decide to bless me that I can get toiletries and things of that nature. So, again, I'm not upset or whatever. I just know that with my health, it's going to improve, and it will allow me to really build on the different ventures that was placed in my heart, years ago, that I finally have the time to really invest in me holistically. So I want y'all to continue to go along with me, travel along with me on this journey. And once again, check me out over on my TikTok. I'm thinking about going over there later to kind of give an update with my followers over there. I have over 1,000 over there, so I don't want to necessarily abandon them to come back, to spend more time here. But I have, as a matter of fact, I've been live more here than I have over there in the last maybe month or so, and I think I like it, to be honest with you. So anyway, let me stop talking. Let me finish with my food, because I'm going to put it on now that my chicken's getting there with my air fryer. And see, look here, it's turning out decent. I got to flip it and cook it on over on the other side. But my end result, I'll post it for you. Until next time, Ashe, y'all. Thank you.